Hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody. Glad to be with you here tonight on Monday night. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with me. You guys know the drill. Hopefully by now, drop your city and state and I will shout you out. We are going to get started. I am celebrating, I don't even know the milestone, I don't have it in front of me. I think it's I want to say 200,000 views on YouTube. And so I am celebrating that this evening by doing a live stream answering your questions that you have submitted. So I had quite a few people submit questions. I'm going to do my best to get through all of them, but we will see. Of course, I like to always let people know about the books that I have to offer as we let everyone get in and get settled. Put my little handy dandy graphic up. Whoops, it looks like it got moved. All right, so let me take this. Hang on, guys. Y'all know me and my graphics. I got 2 books. Thank you so much for the congratulations. I appreciate that. We got one for women, First Date 101. It's a man's guide to dating a man because I don't make this stuff up. I get it from the horse's mouth. So whatever the guy said they really liked on a first date, didn't like on a first date, compiled it into a handy dandy book and put that out there for women. So that's there, available in my shop, chasingyancy.com. The link is in the video description below. And then for the guys, why women love a-holes. Man, we have really been talking about this a lot lately, and I keep saying, read the book, read the book, read the book. There are things that men do, which is called masculine energy, that drives a woman crazy. It takes a sound woman to resist if the guy is exhibiting toxic behaviors, but there's an animalistic drive that drives a woman into her feminine, and she responds to masculine energy. So if you are wondering why it's really hard for you to get the attention of the opposite sex, you are probably missing something that the bad boy is doing without even realizing it, okay? So this is not about teaching people how to be jerks. It's about tapping into the subconscious. What do women respond to? And think about this. Do you like a woman who is feminine and sweet and kind? That is femininity. So nobody had to teach you to like that. You don't like that because there's something wrong with you or you're jaded. That's just wired into you as a man. There are certain things that are wired into us as women. So I highly suggest you get this book. It's super, super inexpensive, at least right now. I've had my coaches tell me you need to raise the price. But for now, it's really inexpensive. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. I didn't even have to ask you guys to smash the like button. Thank you very, very much. All right, so that's what we have for you guys for today. Like I said, we're going to be answering submitted questions. Before I forget, I do want to do a couple of announcements. I formally launched or announced my, the movement name, which is LIVESTREAM. Just like you have Manosphere, well, I want to have a community of people who believe in love, are refusing to lose hope, and are not going to belittle the opposite sex. So a lot of people have decided to go their own way because they truly believe that all hope is lost, no women will change. And I had somebody say this recently. Thank you guys for the likes. I had somebody say this recently that he needed to really be careful what he watched because he could feel himself getting, what is the word? Like, I would say bitter, but I can't remember the word he used. But essentially he was saying he was seeing content from women, actually, because there are women out there who are very hostile, who are very angry, who are very jaded, and they are talking about things like how to play a man and this and that. And the same thing can happen with women. You could be watching content from guys who are saying, you know, all women are this and that, and this is how you can get over on her and string her along. And so if you watch those types of things, it's easy for your brain to say, this is indicative of all people. And so it's really important that we focus our mind on what is going to benefit us and grow us. The Bible says, yes, I'm going to reference the scripture, but it says, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are pure, think of these things. If there is any virtue or praise, think of these things. So it really is important for us to protect our minds. And if you keep following channels, obviously like mine, but other channels that are promoting positive family images, you're constantly seeing beautiful people on your timeline, and I mean beautiful souls, people coming together, creating families, graduating college, doing stuff with their kids. Those types of things get into your psyche. So this is how we are going to unwire our brain, okay? The Bible says keep your mind renewed. And so we are going to make sure that we filter out these negative images, because it's the same thing with crime. If you constantly are watching stuff about crime and things happening, you're going to start living in fear. When the reality is, think of how many crimes happen on your street, or how many times something has happened to you. So we don't want to have fear. God says He hasn't given us a spirit of fear. And part of being losing hope, it's fear-based. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to give my heart to somebody and they're going to stomp all over it. Okay? All right, so we have Little Rock, Arkansas in the house. Hey. Hey, brother-in-law. Or I said brother-in-law, brother in Christ. And then we have Tian Yvonne. Oh, that's a rhyming name. Tian Yvonne. She's watching from Columbus, Ohio. I don't think I said your name, Lynette. So, hey, Lynette. So, perfect. All right, guys. So, I think that's it for my, just zoom on a screen. I moved my little desk here and then forgot. Let me just make sure I didn't forget anything. Y'all, sometimes I be trying to be on time, but there is a lot going on. And as much as I think I'm ahead of schedule, I ended up working with my daughter for hours and hours and hours on an assignment, and yeah, so I'm scrambling. So just give me just a second. I think those are the main things. Oh, the other thing I would say is, if you're not on my email list, please make sure that you are, because my email list is the place where I am guaranteed to not lose track of anybody, any connections. So whether my internet goes down, whether my social media is turned off, like it happened to a friend of mine last week and he is devastated, I'm still going to be good. So I just found my notes. I was trying to remember the things I wanted to remind you of. That being said, those of you who are on my email list, you have already been made aware that I'm coming to Atlanta. And so I have only sent out the week that I'm going to be there, but in the next couple of days, I'll be able to nail down the exact date because we're still working at the location. But essentially, I'm going to have a live stream in person where we are going to have conversations about the things that are going on. So that's happening the last week of, I said last week of June. We're in June now. So the last week. So make sure you are on my email list. And the last announcement is this. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing to become a patron on my Patreon page. It's patreon.com/Yonci. That also is linked in my description. You can also do a one-time donation through CashApp, which is payYonci. Okay, so those were a lot of announcements, but we got everybody in here and settled. I don't think I shouted out Cleveland. So shout out to Cleveland, Ohio. We got Mr. Each, 1977. And we have Toronto in the house. I see two things. We have Pickering, Ontario, and Toronto. Okay. All right, guys. So normally I read through this before I get started, but I've only seen some of them. I actually have a handy-dandy assistant who is helping me today. And so although I have them neatly printed, I have not gone through them. So give me a little patience as I'm going to gloss through before I read, so I see what I'm about to read. We have Columbus, Ohio. Nice. Hey, Just Humbled Me. I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you. And for those watching on Instagram, go ahead and hop on over. The link is in my bio to go to my page. Oh, that's what I forgot. I was like, there's something I didn't do. Normally I post the link in my story, but hey, you can go to the youtube.com /ChasingYonci. Okay. So here's the first question. Is it a waste of time? Oh, I forgot my little handy dandy numbers. Okay, so let me put my numbers up. We got Mobile, Alabama. Shout out to you, AK3. Hey, Katie Peoples. All right, so, oh Lord. Okay, so this needs to go here. Hold on, y'all. 1 second. There we go. All right, so question number 1, is it a waste of time to wait for someone to get their career together at 30? Yikes. Maybe I shouldn't assume, but I am going to assume that it's a woman because I don't know many men who are waiting for women to get their careers together. So I would say, part of me wants to say go with your heart. Part of me wants to say go with your heart. I don't know what it means to wait to get their career together. I don't understand why a person would need to wait. What I mean by that is sometimes people build from the ground up. So there's a couple of multimillionaires who have explained that when they got with their partner, they were quite young. Now they weren't 30, they were far from 30, but when they were young, they built together because they were kind of figuring it out. So that's one thing. 30 is pretty old to be starting a career or not be together. However, I don't see why the person would have to wait. So if the person is saying, I can't even start to talk to you until I get my career together, I don't know about that, because it sometimes it takes a lifetime to really get things off the ground, it seems. But I would say for the most part, my bigger thought is I would move along. I would move along. I feel that when a man, and this isn't based on a feeling, this is based on what I've seen, every book that I have seen, read, and written by men and women alike, when a man wants a woman, he will move hell and high water to get her. So I had both, little answers kind of on my shoulder, but if I had to swing one way or the other, I would say move along. I would say move along. And I've also seen too many situations where the man is not doing what he needs to do for the family, not because he's not choosing to, but it's not happening. And a big part of a woman's respect, whether it's unfortunate or not, is tied to how he provides. So if a guy is having to live off of the woman or what have you, and I'm not talking about he got injured and he's debilitated. I'm saying he's an able-bodied person who just can't figure it out. And the other thing is that a lot of times it takes a woman to inspire a guy. Sometimes it takes him losing a woman to really get that ball rolling, get that fire under him. So yeah, what do you guys say? Vote with me. Would you say leave or stay? Leave or stay? Should she stay and wait around for this guy to get his career together, or leave? Mike says blessings. Shout out to you, Mike. Hey, it's my YouTube buddy. All right, so that was question number 1. And feel free to put it, yeah, okay, we got the first one coming in. She said leave. Just Humble Me says need more context. Yeah, me too. It's really tough without a lot of context. Don't wait. Leave. Ooh, we are unanimous right now. Let's see how many. Let's get a couple more votes in before I move forward. Leave unless you can talk to her and build together. Yeah, I was just saying, like, why can't you build together? I think that's weird to, if it's like, I can only do my career, I can only do this. Which is why, side note, it's important for men to not piss away their young years. My son is almost 18. He's turning 18 next month. And I have him working. And getting things, trying to figure things out. I actually started way before he graduated high school, having a conversation about what are you passionate about? Let's get you in a shadow program. And you shouldn't spend your 20s partying and just wasting your years. This is the time that you can kind of bump your head, fall down, and it's okay because mommy and daddy are there to pick you up. It's not exactly okay when you're 28, 29, 30. So anyone else wants to vote, let me know. We are going to move on to question number 2. Those of you watching on Instagram, come on over to YouTube. The water's warm and you don't have to look at the ugly graphic on my screen. Come on down. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, number 2, I wanted to ask you a couple questions concerning ghosting. I am a 57-year-old widow. I don't know what 18 months means. Maybe she's been a widow for 18 months. I'm not sure. I reconnected with my childhood boyfriend. He is also 57. We had not seen each other in 40 years, but we have met up twice. We are both abstinent and we are Christians. It was an instant connection for both of us, and it was as though we had not missed a beat. We live in 2 different cities and began talking on the phone every day, an hour plus, for the last 6 months. Woo! Okay. Oh, I love it. I love it. The conversation is still going about number 1. Good. Keep it coming in, guys. He was not big on texting, but the phone conversations were consistent from both of us. We are friends, and that is how we introduced each other to friends and family. We'd spoken on the phone earlier in the day for at least about an hour with no issues. However, he texted me, which is unusual, late that evening saying he was going to be busy for the next couple of days, but we could reconnect, she said the day of the week. He did not call or respond to my 4 text messages I sent. It has now been 18 days and no communication from him. He is aware of a planned trip, travel to see each other every 3 months. to visit his family and hometown, and he knows where I'll be staying for this 5-day visit. I only want to talk face to face to get an explanation for his disrespectful and immature behavior, but unsure if I should answer the phone or text to get closure or ignore. Oh my goodness. Okay, so y'all comment your thoughts first before I give my 2 cents. He said ghosting and a widow, that threw me off. Okay, so those of you watching Instagram, please come on over to YouTube. They take care of the content creators here, so I would appreciate if you would come on over. Plus, it looks way nicer. You get all the graphics, right, y'all, on YouTube? The water's warm, right? Tell them come on down. All right, so here's my thought. She said, what do I do if he calls me? Or what do I do if he wants to see me when I get to my destination city? This is something I see a lot with women. A lot of times as women, we want to get closure. And, oh, Tian beat me to it. That's what I was going to say. She said, close the door. Don't make any more contact with him. We have to get to a point where our indignation outweighs our curiosity, honestly. Because I think there is this question in the back of her mind. The question is, what do I do if he calls me, or what to do if he wants to see me when I get to my destination city? I think because we have we build up this fantasy about this person. We become so attached, like even if it's new and recent, which is not this case, even if it's new and recent, we tend to fantasize and go, oh my gosh, it could be this. We could end up being married. This could be my fantasy. So when something goes wrong and throws the plan off, it's really hard to walk away from that dream. So the person has already walked away from us, but it's hard for us as women sometimes to walk away from the dream. And so it's very important for you to have self-respect and decide it doesn't matter what the reason is. It doesn't matter. Somebody beat me to it. He said, check the hospitals and jails, and if he's not in any of them, kick rocks. I was going to say at first, man, I hope the guy's not dead, but that is way too coincidental. For he sent a text message, and then there was no communication, and texting was very unusual. Now, this is actually, let's do a little conspiracy theory, right? This almost sounds like one of those crime movies where something happened to the person and then someone else tried to cover their tracks. So they're like, oh, I'll send a text so the person doesn't suspect anything. They expect them to be absent or whatever. So it is a little weird that he texted when he normally would call. But I would just say pray for his safety, that he is okay. Unfortunately, this kind of stuff happens a lot. I have seen enough documentaries and things. And I just reposted, actually, one of my really popular posts, which says, if he's not into you, he'll just leave the relationship, right? And I said, wrong. This was something that I found out from men, and I was really shocked by. Because like I said, I have a group of men and a couple thousand in there, and I'll just ask questions and get the general consensus. A lot of people don't know how to walk away. When I say people, I mean men. A lot of men have trouble walking away because they really don't like feeling like the bad guy. So they will just pretend to be busy or what have you. By the way, guys, we almost have exactly double the amount of viewers as we do likes. So if you could please tap that like button, it really helps when it comes to the YouTube algorithm. It lets YouTube know people are enjoying this content, and then it pushes it out to more people. So I would really, really, really appreciate that. If you guys could hit that like button. And if you're watching on your cell phone, you'll notice you'll have to close the chat window and then click it and then come back to the chat. So what do you guys think? Y'all saying she should let it go? No closure? You can say no closure or get closure. No closure or get closure. What do y'all think for number 2 before we move on to number 3? Walking away from what the women... Oh, yes, walking away from the relationship. Oh, thank you, Tian. She said she smashed the like button already. Some people just poke their head in and leave. But if y'all are sticking around, if you like it, please smash that like button. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize there was another... This really hurts because we both said we wanted to be in a committed relationship and desired to be married, but understood a long-distance relationship would take a little more time to get to know one another. We were not in love with each other, but each of us expressed we loved each other as lifelong friends, getting to know each other. And the context of personal characteristics we possess. So I thought, okay. So she's basically saying, am I experiencing ghosting after 36 years of being out of the dating scene? It might have been. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you. She said, let it go. Don't worry about closure. Kenny says, get closure. Oh, so we've got a little bit of a discrepancy in the comments. Okay. Those of you who are watching on Instagram, if it wouldn't be a big deal, can you switch on over to YouTube? Because YouTube really, really helps out content creators. So if it's all the same to you, apt or not, you could hop on over to YouTube. That would be fantastic. But we have people saying no closure on Instagram. What is the point? Someone else said, he's dead or married. Move on. Yikes. Okay. All right. We are going to go to number 3. Y'all, this is kind of nerve-wracking for me because usually I proofread before I go on here, and I'm just reading them for the first time right now. I'm like, yikes. He said the door was shut. Now she gets to lock it. Oh, Alexa coming with the one-liner. All right. Him not contacting is closure. Bobby, well said. Well said. That is the closure. Who is it who said, let me put this one back up so I don't get it confused after the fact. It wasn't Maya Angelou. It was it Maya Angelou? When somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Well, when someone tells you how they want you in their life, believe them. This was definitely an indication. I cannot fathom. What did he say? He texted and said he was going to be, busy the next couple days. And that's super vague too. Just, I'm going to be busy. If he's a widower, he may be going through depression when after these things, new romantic feelings come up. Actually, she's the widow. She's the widow. So I don't know why he's single. She just said a childhood boyfriend. So she's the widow. And I think she's saying she's been a widow for 18 months. So anywho. But thank you guys for weighing in. Okay, so number 3, my relationship question. Why do I attract or am I attracted to unavailable men and unhealthy men? Whether married, narcissistic, emotionally unavailable, you name it. And what can I change about me to stop that? I know it's me. I just don't know what's wrong with me. I don't date, and I know these men aren't right from the jump, but I have to fight myself not to like them. Honestly, sometimes I wonder if it's that the people are actually attracted to the person or if it's just someone giving them attention. So I think we got to go spiritual for a minute, okay? But we all have a need to feel loved. We all have a need to feel like we are worthy of love. And that is something that having a relationship with God will do for you. You will actually feel this connection. You will feel complete. You will feel whole, which is what a lot of people look for relationships to do. So I think when somebody gives attention, it's like a dopamine hit. You start to get that high, the adrenaline rush, and the excitement of getting the attention. It strokes your ego. And then once you find out this person is no good for you, you're just hooked on the attention. So I think that's what happens. I don't necessarily think that people seek out the bad. I think that the bad just comes a lot easier. It's readily available. And most men, I would say women too, but it's mostly men. Most men can sniff out an unhealthy woman. Because, and Kenny, this is different than someone needing validation and constantly needing validation and attention. Oftentimes you won't even know it. Okay. She doesn't have to be needy outwardly. It's just the fact that she has a need for it that is unhealthy, meaning whatever scraps you give, she'll hungrily pick them up. So that's a little bit of a different, dynamic of somebody being needy. When a man is into a woman, he will certainly make time. Exactly. So I think the first thing is that you need to look at your spirituality and start to fill that void, because you will no longer get excited about crumbs when you're used to getting 4-course meals with God. So I can admit that there was a time where when I got attention, it was just so exciting. I had to really work to walk away from something when I saw a red flag. And it was just because I thought, oh my gosh, if I get rid of this one person who's giving me attention, my source of attention is gone. So, you know, it's nothing cool. It's a little embarrassing admitting that, right? But if you start to realize it's not the actual guy you like, it's the feeling of feeling loved. It's the feeling of feeling accepted and worthy of love. So I think that's it. The other thing is that sometimes there can be a rush if there is an inconsistency, which a lot of people who are not good people, there's an inconsistency which makes you have really high highs and really low lows. Some people, I think, are addicted to that emotional roller coaster as well. And then if they get in a healthy relationship, it feels like this is just boring. Nothing is really happening. So if they came from a toxic environment, maybe their family was that way. Maybe that's how they recognize love. So it could also be that that's what you've seen as an example. So therefore you feel like that is, you know, that is something that you should seek out. So we have a couple more people who hit like. We got a bunch more who just came in. If you guys are enjoying this, please smash that like button. It takes 2 seconds, but it makes a big, big difference for me and my channel. So if you could click that if you're enjoying it, I would appreciate it. Learn to be by yourself for a second. Work on your personal issues. Yeah, and that's men and women. Both men and women. Women tend to struggle with keeping their emotions at bay. Men tend to struggle with keeping their physical needs at bay. So a lot of guys will just be with a woman just to get a release. A woman will tend to keep a guy around just to get an emotional high. So physical high, emotional high, it's all bad. Shout out to Aaron. Hello, hello. He said hasn't caught a live in a while. I'm glad you are here. We got someone tuning in from ATL. Love J418. Shout out to you. We're getting those likes up, you guys. Can we get a couple more? I'll start number 4 as soon as we get them up. I would love to get like 3 more before, because there's such a disparity between those watching and those liking. So if you're sticking around, that means you must be liking something, right? So while I'm waiting for these likes to come up, I'm just going to proofread the next one. Oh goodness. Ew, juicy. All right. Y'all being stingy with the likes right now. Fairfield, Cali. Oh, shout out to Fairfield, Cali in the house. Oh, Latoya. Okay, Latoya's coming in from Atlanta. Really, y'all, just the 8 of you just not gonna give me the likes. That's cold-blooded. That's cold-blooded. I'm giving you free content. Free content. Gave my like when I entered. Thank you, Alexa. Somebody loves me. All right, I guess these 6 people oh, there we go. We got 2 more. Thank you. Thank you. We got Berlin, Germany in the house. Nice. All right. I was hoping for 1 more. We got 2. I wanted 3. Can we get that last one? Y'all, what do I have to do? The dance? Sing a little song? Well, singing might make you guys go away. All right. There are 4 people holding out. All right. So we will move along. Hopefully they will feel convicted in their spirit and give us 1 more like. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, if I have time, Aaron, don't forget your question and repost it at the end, because I have a couple more in the queue. Okay. All right. So what are we on? We're on number 4. Put my little graphic up here. Okay, there we go. Number 4. I like my best friend and enjoyed his attention for quite a while. See, this is why I talk about friends. Can men and women really be friends? I feel like one person always likes the other person. Okay. Oh, shout out to Patricia. Hey, girl. Hey, friend. Let's see. She said, in a moment of comfort and mutual weakness, because y'all still male and female, we hooked up a few times. But he wanted to call things off since he wasn't ready for anything. Now, when a man says ready for anything, it means I don't want a relationship and a commitment, but I definitely do not mind getting the cheeks. Oh, we got the likes up. Thank you to the last person who just gave the like. I appreciate that. Okay. She said, we continued hooking up anyway. Yeah, you see, I didn't even get to that part. That is the point. When he says, I don't want anything, it means I don't want to commit to you. Okay? So she said, I got sick of his mixed signals and him calling off. And him calling off. I don't know what calling off. But I called it off too. Here's the thing. He did not give a mixed signal. He said, I don't want a relationship. Here's the thing, okay? And people try to push back on my post where I said, if you're, what's the harm getting your cheeks clapped if you just meet somebody or whatever, right? I had people push back and say, hey, there was a time once when there was somebody who hooked up and then they ended up in a strong relationship or in a marriage. Okay, well, nobody's saying it's not possible. What I'm saying is these are rules to live by. If you are a gambling person, you want the best odds, right? So unless a man says to you, I like you, I want to be with you, I want you to be my lady, I want to be exclusive with you, I want to be so exclusive, I'm ready to put a ring on it. Unless you have a commitment on that level, okay, matrimony, I would say matrimony, and that's what God says, do not give up the cheeks. It's like asking your kid, are you going to eat your meal? I'll give you the dessert first, though, but eat your meal. Nobody's eating the meal first if the dessert's on the table. Come on now. So he wasn't giving you mixed signals. He straight up said he did not want anything, aka a commitment. I didn't want to lose my self-respect and ask to continue. Well, this is why I say, people keep saying, oh, we need to make content so that women can know the good guy from the bad guy. I always say I disagree. I think that women know exactly what to do. We just battle our own demons that keep us from actually doing what it is we're supposed to be doing. We know. She said, we were normal for a while after that. Then he suddenly stopped talking to me and claimed he's busy and upset with life. Maybe he's out on Mysteryville with the other guy, the guy who's working. Or no, he said he's busy. So maybe they're off together having a powwow, taking care of life, right? I feel awful. I can't believe he would cut me off. He cut you off because it's not worth the headache. He's like, dang, I just wanted some booty. And now I got to deal with drama. That's what he's saying. I got what I wanted, but I didn't ask for all of this. Was he angry that I gave him a taste of his own medicine? I don't see what the taste of his own medicine was. I don't know what the taste of his own medicine was. So what did I do? What you did was give him the booty. That's what you did. You gave him the booty, and as a woman, you wanted a commitment. He didn't want to give you the commitment, and that was stressing him out because you wanted the commitment, even though he said he didn't want a commitment. So I hate to be so harsh or so direct, but that is it. It's plain and simple. We as women can make things so complicated, but it's really just that simple. Y'all would probably be fine if you didn't ask for a commitment and just kept having sex casually as friends. He probably would be just fine. Number 5 is being submissive, allowing a man to talk down to you. And is it being masculine to speak up when it's happening? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So first, let me say this first. I'm glad this came up because this is really important to get into. There should not be any submission until there is leadership. Okay? I am not going to randomly follow somebody until I know what they're all about. So let's just start from the beginning. Let's really break down this timeline because I think that people are using submission and femininity interchangeably. I'm going to be feminine all day long, whether I'm around people, not around people, dating, not dating, in a relationship, out of it. I'm going to be feminine all day long. Submissive, that happens to my man I am committed to. So you're not dictating anything. You're not running things. You are not my leader. Okay? So all of this submission and leadership stuff, this is stuff that is earned through time. So you go through the first stage, you meet somebody, you vet them, right? I suggest the 90-day probationary, 90-day discovery phase. I would say probationary. 90-day discovery phase. Watch the video on that. If you haven't watched that video on YouTube, just search 90-day discovery phase. During that 90 days, you should be making all your discoveries. Okay? Discover. Is he patient? Is he kind? Is he loving? What kind of relationship does he have with his parents? Does he have children? Does he love God? What are his career goals? You know, what was his last situation like? How long has he been single? You know, this should be the time to discover, not jump in bed, start having sex and making a future. Give yourself 90 days. Why 90 days? Because scientifically it has been proven that you are doped up on natural brain chemicals the first 3 months. It's dopamine, it's oxytocin. All these things are happening. You're just on this high. That's why it seems like nothing they do is wrong and everything is great and you just feel like you're floating through the clouds. You need to come down from that state and then assess, what do I know about this person? Would this person be a good partner? Have you taken the time to even decide what things you need out of a partner before you even met this person? How do they align? Okay, so all of these things happen. Then you start to date each other. You're dating this whole time, but now you're starting to move towards more exclusiveness possibly. So if a man really wants your time, he is going to make a proclamation. He is going to say that he wants to be with you and that this is his goal for you. She said, I've heard that men don't decide if they want to be serious with a woman until after 3 months. Well, I think that men tend to be more logical than women. So I think what happens is they get a knee-jerk reaction, right? They physically find her beautiful and he thinks that she's great to be around. But logically, which is what they should do, logically, they realize that they need time to be able to figure this out. This is so weird. You guys can hear me okay, obviously, right? Because you're commenting. My microphone is turned off. So that is so weird. I have no idea. And this is like random to talk about in the middle of my live stream, but I just noticed my microphone is off, but yet the little dial is moving. So that is super weird. I got to look into that. Anywho, he is going to make a proclamation. He's going to say, this is what I want. Most men want to lock you down. Most men want to lock you down. They tend to move. When a man is serious, he tends to want to move faster than a woman. That's why I crack up when people are like, oh, he doesn't know it's been 6 years. Boy, bye. If it's taken him more than a year, if it's taken him more than a few months to want to have a committed relationship to you, and it takes him more than a year to propose and get married, no, there is something off. Those of you listening on Instagram, please come over to YouTube. It really helps me out as a content creator. If you watch on that platform instead of Instagram. He said, do your background checks and ask a lot of questions. Yeah, and watch to be consistent. Watch to be consistent. So this is how I look at men with women, okay? Imagine a smoke screen. So imagine there's a sign, 20 feet in front of you, but there's this huge fog machine putting smoke in the air. For a woman, the sign is logic, but the smoke screen is emotions. We can't quite see the logic because oftentimes there's a huge cloud of emotions. Once we're able to kind of get through the emotions, then we can get to the logic. I think with men, the sign that's 20 yards out or 20 feet out is emotions, and there's this big cloud of logic. That's why it's so difficult for a man to make an emotional decision, because he's so stuck on the logic. So neither one is bad, but it benefits and doesn't benefit depending on the situation. So when it comes to falling in love, it's pretty good that a guy is logical. He might say, I'm not in a position to raise a family. We're not in a position to bring kids into this world. Or, my job is going to require me that I don't have a lot of time for you. And I know as a woman, it's going to make you mad. So I think that's important. But he can't go to the extreme where everything has to make logical sense, because some things it doesn't make logical sense. You just have to take the leap of faith. So it's a beautiful yin yang. Men know when they meet you for the first time and their intentions are, what their intentions are when they first meet you. So this is really interesting. So I asked this question with men, and it was funny because, not funny, haha, but it was very eye-opening, because the way I asked the question, the men were struggling to answer it. And at first I thought they were being difficult and trying to, be like almost political with their answers. And then I realized it's so different for men. Okay, go with me. With women, we tend to have a switch. It's like, switch on, I want a partner. Switch off, I don't want a partner. And we're groomed, and why do I say it's groomed? It's our nature to want to be with a man. And so we tend to be in a headspace where we're like, okay, I'm ready. And then each guy we filter to go, is he the one? Nope. Is he the one? No. Okay, he's the one. Yeah. But we are coming into it ready to get married. I said when I met my husband, it was like I had the whole wedding planned already. I'm joking, but it was like almost having the whole wedding plan. I just need a guy to put on the top of the cake. Versus a man tends to just go with a blank slate. Guys, tell me if I'm wrong, but this is what I've experienced from the men's conversations in my group. The men just go along. It's like, oh, it's a Monday, it's a Tuesday, it's a Wednesday. Oh, I met somebody. Huh. And then based on the woman, he figures out his intention. That's what was so interesting. So that's why he could be with girl A for 6 months. It never goes anywhere. She starts pressuring him about marriage. He's like, I don't know. They break up. And then he meets girl B, and in 3 months they're engaged. I have seen from the conversations with men, like I said, men let me know, that men tend to take it case by case, woman by woman. Some women make them want to get married. They don't have this instinctual, it is time. Yes, it is time I come off the market. It takes a woman who is so enticing to make them come off the market. I got a guy on Instagram saying, you're correct. Thank you. See, I listen to men. I promise you, because I don't want this to be true. Aaron says, I don't believe men go in looking for anything until she shows qualities that he wants. And that would be logical. That would be logical. Ladies, do you see how that is? So when you come in wanting the relationship, you're in a horrible negotiating stance because you already want it. So this guy may or may not want you, but because you want it, you're trying to fit this guy into this equation as opposed to going situation by situation. Okay? So I got 2 male cosigns. If any other guys want to weigh in, let me know. Kenny says, why are you guys so emotional? God made us this way. If people did not have emotions, they would be robots. And if people did not have logic, they would just be this big ball of emotion. Together, we need each other. This is why we balance each other out. If you guys ever heard this, people who are extremely successful, they know that most people in corporate circles are not taken seriously unless they're married. Why? Because there is a process a man goes through when he has a wife. It balances him out. There are certain risks he won't take. There are certain things that they can expect of him. A woman really balances a man out. It is very dangerous to see a woman's natural traits or a man's natural traits and think there's something wrong with them. This is one of the biggest problems I have seen with the gender war. You are not like me. What the heck is wrong with you? Can you imagine a piece of fruit saying that? An apple saying to an orange, ew, you're not like me. What's wrong with you? My exterior is a peel and it's thick and it can be rolled back easily. And yours is really attached to your skin and it's super thin. It's flat and shiny. Mine's porous and bumpy. It's silly to compare as though if it is different, it makes it bad. It's just different and it's meant to complement. Okay? So men need to be more emotional oftentimes, and women need to be more logical. And it's not just emotional. Emotions are basically you being open to things that are not necessarily facts, stats. It's not concrete. It's more abstract. So intuition comes this way. Wisdom comes this way. It's just this knowing versus logic is all about ABC 1, 2, 3. Sometimes the answer isn't in math or science. Sometimes the answer is in intuition. So it's not all emotions. I don't want to paint out women's gifts as just being emotional, but you need to have emotion to be able to connect with humans and be empathetic. Otherwise, if you are all logical, you could be a raging psychopath, and who wants that? let's see. What if he has expressed his intentions, but he wants to prepare financially to be a husband? Then that's up to the woman to decide if she wants to take it or leave it. So whatever his stipulations are, she still needs to say, does that work for me? Because sometimes men will overplan. They'll be overly logical. And it's like, man, we don't need to be living in the lap of luxury. A lot of times they'll compare themselves to their father. And it's like, no, he's been working for decades. It's okay, babe, if we cut coupons and we don't eat out all the time, and we're not going on big old vacations. You have to be able to rock with him. So the woman should see if what he's saying she can live with. Okay. Let's see. I don't believe he. I don't believe he. What? I don't think he believes you're what he wants. Oh, you're what he wants. If so, he would be willing to grow with you. Oh, I don't know why I really struggle with that. You're what he wants. His father provided for his mother, so he wants to follow that example. Yeah, and you have to also get into the psychological aspect of it too. So for a man, and this is the part that we as women don't understand. I remember dating a guy who had just lost everything. It was actually due to a crazy theft. It was like an inside thing. A family member did it. Wiped out his entire savings. And so he was just devastated. And as much as he cared about me and I cared about him, he's like, I don't feel like a man if I can't do certain things. I don't feel like a man if I can't pick you up and take you and do this stuff, or if you need something, I can be there. I don't feel like a man. So part of it is true. A lot of times men don't feel right until they're where they need to be. So again, the woman has to see if she can live with that. I couldn't live with it. I was like, I don't want to sit around waiting for you to, get your life together. Okay. Intuition is just lacking to understand. Wait, intuition just the lacking to understand and explain. I don't understand that statement about intuition. Let's see. Do you think the man is going to pass up his wife over finances? It happened to me. It happened to me. And he says I was amazing. We're still friends to this day. He just did not feel like himself. Emotion is just feeling something when you're completely unbased in ego. I don't know. I'm struggling with that one. Sorry. Okay. He said, which fruit is the woman? Oh my goodness. If he doesn't feel like a man, he shouldn't be dating, it seems. Exactly. And that's what I finally had to surrender. But I had to give up my personal desire. Like, I wanted to be like, you know what, your love is all that matters. But that's what feminine is. Feminine, is okay. But I think if I had stuck around, I would have been irritated, because I'd been like, man, you can't help me. You can't do anything. Okay. So no, we really went off. But being submissive is not a man talking down to you. And I cannot stress this enough. Stop getting with men. And by all means, Lord, do not marry men who have not demonstrated the ability to be loving and kind and a great leader. So many women say, I act like this within my relationship because he's not a good leader. And every single time I say, why are you with him? Why are you with him? And if people try to say, well, they did a complete switcheroo, it makes me wonder, how long were you with him before you committed? Because most people cannot keep up a charade for more than 30 days. And most people have telltale signs. So sometimes people have their head in the sand. And when we really dig into it with counseling and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, he did show me that. Oh, yeah, he did show me that. So we got to be on what we're doing. So speaking up. So here's the difference. If you speak up to somebody, let's say you're speaking up to a man, you can speak up, but I like to use this comparison, which is probably going to make people mad, but think about your supervisor. How do you show respect to your supervisor, but you're not a doormat? You might say, hey, I noticed we always do it this way, but do you think it would be cool if we did this? You're coming at him like making a suggestion, not saying, this is how we're going to do it. So I think in the same way with your husband, you could make a suggestion, but you're not coming at him in masculine energy. All right. Sorry, I took a little while on that one, but let's move on to number 6. Are you guys enjoying these questions? We got a lot of new people who just joined the chat. If you are liking what you're hearing, please smash the like button. It's very helpful. If you're watching on Instagram, please come on over to YouTube. I'm begging y'all. It really, really helps me with my channel. Okay. So Barack says women mistakenly mistake submissiveness for slavery. The reason that happens a lot of times is because a lot of men mistake leadership for tyranny, or tyranny for leadership. They think, well, I'm the man, therefore I can be as rude as I want to be, as, you know, uncompassionate as I want to be, and be some Ike Turner up in there and call it leadership. That is not leadership. Leadership is when you're walking and there are people following you. You are doing such an amazing job that people are following you. That is what makes a leader. Not someone who could scream loudly and intimidate somebody. That's a dictator. So a leader says, I'm going to take full responsibility for whatever we do. I'm confident in my skills. Would you like to come along? And she voluntarily submits. She's saying, I'm voluntarily putting myself in a position to follow you. Okay? So that is totally overused. And this is why it's so important for a woman to understand what to look for in a godly husband. Thank you, Mr. Clark. And a godly wife. Okay? Because our flesh, it's the part of us that's human nature, we bristle. We don't want to listen to another human being. As a human man, you might not want to listen to a woman says. But God will humble you and he will get you together and you will end up having the most beautiful relationship because both of you are submitting yourself to God. So you're both in the same posture of bowing down to God. And then there is order just so that there can be order in the home. All right, so we are number 6. This one threw me through a curveball. I said I was going to investigate it, look it up, but I actually didn't get a chance, or I forgot, to be honest. So I don't even know how to respond to this because it's a little bit outside of the, you know, the topics I usually cover. What are your thoughts on Christian domestic discipline? It says CDD is a lifestyle in which spanking and other punishments, loss of privileges, timeouts, etc., are used to maintain an orderly Christian household. The man is dominant and the wife is submissive. This is what I'm confused about. I have never heard those things: spanking, punishments, loss of privileges, timeouts. I've never heard it in the context of a relationship. So I wish I had thought to ask that question on when it came up because this one was on Instagram. But if you were that person, feel free to respond and let me know. I don't understand. So I don't think that discipline is a problem. I think that it's when you are rearing children, you understand what each child needs. So some children, you could just look at them and they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Other kids will push the boundaries and maybe they, need a swat on the booty or whatever. But I'm really hoping this is not asking about husbands and wives. So I don't know. Aaron says, don't women like that sometimes? I'm not sure what the thing is that you're saying. Do they like? A lot of people don't know what true love is, which is why they settle for someone who disrespects them. Yes. Or they're too afraid to trust that the better person's going to come along. So like, well, it's better to have the devil that I know. It's hard to recognize love when you don't know what it is. Oh, Alexandra says, we're talking about disciplining your wife. I wish someone would try to discipline me. Oh, Lord, that took me. Okay. If they are talking about disciplining a wife, yeah, adults should not need to discipline. Like this even came up when I saw this joke, this reel about a wife telling her husband to sleep on the couch. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. What person punishes an adult? Like, you don't need to put me on timeout. She said men used to spank their wives in the South. I have never in my entire life heard that. Has anyone else? Please tell me this is a joke. It is still legal to do it on the steps of the courthouse in South Carolina. Y'all, am I being punked? Is this real? I want to Google this. I'm going to Google this right now. Where's my window? We're not talking about S&M, like a little kinky. You talking about like You messed up bad. Husband, this cannot be. Oh, this brought up some kinky stuff. That's what I was worried. I'm Googling, I'm looking for S&M. No, not porn. Okay, Christian movement. Okay, this is like 12 down. When and where does your husband spank you? Okay, every wife should spank her husband when he's bad. Same goes for parents to kids. They should be spanked. What? Husbands can spank as little or as often as they want. They're in charge? What? Husband disciplines wife with paddle and belt. Okay, I think that's for pleasure, different kind of pleasure. Discipline. My husband asked me to discipline him. I don't feel comfortable doing that. Okay, that sounds like something fun too. Like they're doing it for fun, not for punishment. So I will have to look into this. That is wild. No, it's not a joke. It's the old days, and this was acceptable. Oh, so someone else has heard of this? Oh my goodness, y'all. I was talking about being dominant and checking your wife, not discipline. I think, checking would just consist of, telling her, saying, hey, this is what we're doing. You have the final say yes, Justin said punishment. I was going to say, I'm sure there's some playful versions of this, but I don't think it's actual, time out. I think it's meant to be a little bit, that part is a little playful, but that's a cute term, punishment. I like that. That is what it was told to me about spanking and discipline kids. So yeah, I don't think that, how do I say this succinctly? I don't think that anybody should ever put their hands on another human being. Even if you're the wife and you're not as strong as the husband, I don't think that anyone should ever have hands put on them. Just period. I feel like if you felt the need to do that, you should just divorce. There should never be a time where your words are not sufficient. And I feel that if your words are not sufficient, this is where you pray. You pray and you ask the Lord to lead. I don't think it's wrong for a husband to say, no, this is absolutely not okay. No, he didn't. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, but this is also why you guys have to be careful which content creators you're listening to. Are content creators led by the Holy Spirit? Are they going off of the Word of God? If not, you're just talking about anybody's preferences. And, I will not say any names. I know you guys are commenting names in the comments, but when I listen to some people, their content, it really sounds like there is a disrespect when it comes to women. Like they see them as less than. And that's one of the biggest things. The Bible never, ever, ever speaks of women as being less than, less than a person, less than favorable in God's sight, like nothing. It's always been just about order. Just like if I go to a job and I have a supervisor, my supervisor's not better than me. It's just somebody, we need to fall into order so someone can make the decision. Maybe they want the conference call and I don't. Like someone has to be the final say. So that's wild. Because of the female feedback from women saying how helpful it was. What? Sorry, I'm trying to catch it. This is wild. Oh my goodness, too much fun in the comments. I'm having fun going back and reading this. Okay, so we're going to move on to number 7. I got all into it. How are we on time? You guys okay on time? Okay. Woo, these questions. All right, number 7. My relationship question. How to keep an open mind when dating outside of what you're attracted to or used to. Examples, superficial preferences, energy level, etc. Oh, you guys, I get people disagreeing with me a lot on this one, so we'll see. Hey, Winter. Hey, girl. By the way, Winter, let me know if you would like to come on and chime in and give your thoughts. because this is very interesting. You can either come in on YouTube or Instagram, and it'll just tape your voice if it's on Instagram. But I'm curious about this one, and it's funny you popped up on that one question because it says how to keep an open mind when dating outside of what you're used to and attracted to, superficial preferences, energy level. I feel like it sounds cute to say, oh, keep an open mind and it's about their heart. But here's the thing. See, she says, stick to your preferences with 5 exclamation points. I tend to lean that way. This is why. This is not a buddy. This is not a friend. This is not a pen pal. If it was a pen pal, I'd be like, yeah, it's just about personality. This is a partner that you are meant to have intercourse with. For me, I would think that would be jacked up to force yourself to be with someone that you're not physically attracted to, because it will mean you're not sexually attracted to, which means they're going to feel it. And I've always told the story about the guy who said when he kissed me, he felt my body recoil. Okay? She says organic attraction and chemistry is so important. Genesis says this is true. This is someone you will spend the rest of your life with. Get what you like. Here's the thing. I believe that God knows that we are humans, okay? He even said that Jacob found Rachel very attractive. So we obviously know that there's such a thing as being physically attracted to somebody. So I believe that you do your best with both columns. You have 2 columns. How you're attracted physically, and then how you guys are compatible. And I don't think that you should ever put too much weight on compatibility and then forget the physical attraction. I definitely don't think you should put too much weight on the physical attraction and not on the compatibility. I think it should be a complementary thing. It should be a balance. Because you guys ever had that saying, you know, I've been with people before and I said, oh, it's a good thing you're so cute. Oh, it's a good thing you're cute. Because I feel like in those moments where you're just too through, that sexual attraction keeps it going. And I think that when the sexual attraction is kind of waning, you have that commitment. You know what? Yeah, I might want to do this and this, but man, I'm loyal to this person because they're such a great person. Men, never get with women you're not attracted to. Yeah, I had somebody who got with a woman and she completely changed after meeting him, trying to mold into what he wanted. And then after they got married, she reverted right back. So, oof, yeah. What do you guys think? What do you think? Let me know. He said I can't lead if I'm blind. The only way I can keep an open mind is to physically close my eyes, and I can't lead if I'm blind. I cannot, Anthony. All right. Ooh, those likes got up. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And the new people who came in, if you can smash that like, if you're enjoying it, I would really appreciate it. All right. Number 8. My question is, should women mark their territory in a relationship? For example, if women are overly friendly with my husband, but he takes it lightly and assures me he won't be tempted. Now, should I be the one to chase these women off or tell them he has a wife? Ooh, I have a very specific answer. I'm not like a dog. What do you guys think? Should the wife step up? Should the wife do it or should the husband do it? Or no one? So you can comment wife, husband, or no one. So here's the situation. Someone is being friendly with a married man. Should the wife speak up, nip that in the bud? Should the husband speak up, or should no one? Genesis, don't have me laughing on this YouTube. She says so she wants to be a chaperone. She's gonna pop up out the bushes. We got 2 hubbies. If a woman crosses the line, what's wrong with being friendly? I don't think I know what you mean, Alexandra. What's wrong with being friendly? So we got 3 for the husbands. 4 for the husbands. It's the husband's job. 5 for the husbands. 6 for the husbands. 7 for the husband. Okay, we are unanimous on this one. It is the husband's job. Here's the thing. I like to compare energy like currency. Don't spend your money outside your home. It's easy to say, oh, it's just this, it's just that. It's just that until it turns into something else. So there's a reason being cozy, being cozy with somebody, people tend to get a little bit too comfortable. I know with men, it's like you give them an inch, not to make it you know, male, female. But let's just say you're a wife. If you give a guy an inch, he might take it too far. He's getting a little too comfortable. Now he's hugging you a little. I just feel like nipping the bud. I tend to be more extreme when it comes to boundaries. Like doing to others as you would have them doing to you. I don't want somebody getting so comfortable with me that they feel like they can be super, super, super chummy. You don't need my number. You don't need to talk to me one-on-one. Talk to my husband. If she does act, whenever she does, it should be done with the mindset that she is a representative of him. It's the husband's job to check someone. I don't want to be with anyone who can't do that. My thing is 100% the husband. To me, that looks crazy for the wife to do it. Because it's like, obviously the husband is okay with it because he's not saying anything. So I'm trying to enforce something that my own husband isn't worried about. That's just crazy. That's like you trying to go outside and keep bugs away. Like, you're outside. I would rather get a door and just keep them out. But you're trying to go outside and protect your food. Like, he needs to do it. He needs to be his own door. I know it's a horrible analogy, but if a woman crosses the line, what's friendly about that? Oh. What he said, what's friendly about that? So she said, if a woman is being overly friendly with my husband and he's saying he won't be tempted. Yeah, I just think that boundaries should be crossed. You know, there are some people that you don't mess with them. Like, they give you the clear indication, like, nah, we're not doing the jokey jokes, the kiki, no, I'm not the one. Don't get it twisted. My other thing is, like, if you wouldn't say it in front of your person, don't say it at all. If you wouldn't send that text in front of people, your husband, don't say it at all. She was saying, sorry, I was saying the husband, but what's wrong with being friendly? Oh, the husband is saying that? Is that what you're saying? First right of refusal, then call for backup. All right, so we have one more, and then if you guys want to stick around, you could submit some. I know someone had put a question in the comments previously, but I could probably do one more because I'll do 10. So this is 9. So whoever submits the best question, I'll answer that one. Okay, so number 9, what are some of the red flags in seeing a person's parenting style? Ooh, I date women who have children already, and I have 2 and have cut off many because many could be relationships after seeing how they parent their kids. I would say just how the person's character comes out. For example, because I don't think it matters that it's the kid. It's how that person is interacting with another human being. So if she's screaming, he or she is screaming at their child, I think that's a red flag. I don't think anybody should lose their temper to the point where they're screaming. If somebody has 0 patience, I think a lot of times people are not disciplined. And so when they don't exercise discipline, things get out of control, aka the children. And then when the children actually do something that's out of control, they want to just flip out and be all dramatic at that moment. No, you should have been dramatic not dramatic. You should have nipped it in the bud every single time something came up. And so I think that you could look at their temper, lack of temper. Do they have patience? How are they taking care of them? Like, I can't stand when it's cold outside and this person has a big old heavy coat and the kid has a light windbreaker or no jacket. Or it's really, really hot and they're not, making sure the kid is drinking water, if the child's too young to speak. I look to see, like, are they observant of the child's needs? Are they emotionally neglecting? Are they being verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, that type of thing? If they don't have any control in the house, if the kids are running the house, well, I can't go here because, Johnny, bump Johnny, like, this is your house, that kind of thing. Because I think that if this person doesn't have good parenting skills, you are going to have contention within your home once you become a step parent. So that's what I would say. All right, so we are going to move on to number 10. Let me choose which question I want to answer. He said, if she can't manage your kids, she can't possibly manage my house. That's a good point, sir. Okay. Losing control and calling it discipline when it reveals their own lack of discipline. Come on now, Justin. Thank you. Exactly. I hate that. If you're to the point where the veins are popping out of your neck and you're screaming and throwing things, that means you've let it escalate. Okay? Not to brag, my kids have never had a temper tantrum. Never do they fall to the ground kicking and screaming. My kids have never talked back. My kids don't, because they know, anytime there was even a hint of disrespect, it was nipped in the bud. Like when they saw other kids being disrespectful, they kind of looked like, dang, what's about to happen? And then it's shocking, nothing happens to that kid. Okay, so here's a couple of questions. Let me see what I want to answer. What is a way to be more romantic? Ooh, that would be fun to answer. Is it a red flag if they have a bad relationship with their mom and family? Ooh, people who dress their kids in Dollar Tree but are just say, she said, but dripping into Dior, not Dollar Tree. Woo! Hilarious. Welcome, David Berkeley. Yeah, you caught the tail end. All right, so number 10. Y'all made it hard. There were actually a couple of fun ones. Okay. I'm going to answer, let's see. Actually, I'm going to answer both. Okay, you know what? This is what I'll do. I'm going to go back. I'm going to put this as number 9 because they're so close. And then technically I'll only answer 10, okay? So number 9, we'll add part B. Is it a red flag if they have a bad relationship with their mom and family? I think that sometimes, he said, we've all seen Mama Yance, we know why your kids don't have tantrums. That's true. I ain't playing those games. So I would say yes and no. So sometimes the family can be problematic. Like there are some families that are very controlling. There are some families who are narcissistic. There are some families that are, just like they'll do guilt trips and things like that. So you have to kind of see what the cause is. I've seen people who had psychologically abusive control. There was one mom, and every time the daughter would try to go on with her life, she'd have some sob story about, oh, if you really love me, you would do this and you would do that, and always trying to get in between relationships. Some mothers do not know any boundaries when it comes to their children. Other times, fathers can be very controlling. I don't know. I don't tend to see it as much with dads, but I think a lot of times with the moms, it's like this power thing. They want to overly control. So I think if it's an unhealthy parent, then there's nothing wrong with the child detaching. But if the kid is like, I would say you would see, when you will see the reason they split, sorry. And the other thing is you're going to see if this person has problems with everyone. I would say what's more of a red flag is if everybody else is the problem. You can't get along with your boss. You have trouble with your kids. You're fighting with your siblings. You getting into with your friends every other day. Your parents, there's a divide with your parents. There's something with your uncles, your cousins, like your neighbors. You and your neighbors getting into. I feel like when somebody has constantly people that they are getting into it and they never see their part, I think that's when it becomes a red flag. But there are a lot of very dysfunctional families. And for a lot of people, the new wave is, hey, I'm just going to love them from afar. So one woman says, I had to keep distance from my family when I started my femininity, repentance, and submission to the Most High. So a lot of times if a person does not respect the way you move, I've seen people who the grandparents thinks it's funny to undermine the parenting. So let's say the parents are very strict and don't let the kids have any sugar or any soda. And the grandparents think it's endearing to be like, oh, little grandkid, come over here. You can have whatever you want. So sometimes it's for reasons like that. It could be a healthy reason for a distance. All right. So number 10, we'll end with something sweet. How to be more romantic. So one of the biggest things you can do with your partner, if you're already in a relationship, look to see how your person loves on you. So if your person's always writing you little notes, or if your person is extremely affectionate, if your person is always giving you words of affirmation, they're always saying how handsome or pretty you are. If your person is always doing little things, oh, I know you like mimosas, so I got the ingredients for it. Let's make it tomorrow. Or I know you really needed to get your dry cleaning done, so it's already in there. It's going to be ready on Wednesday. Notice how that person naturally gives love, and that's going to be something that you can do. And I know you said romance, but a lot of times taking care of feeling loved makes the romance happen. So for example, it's kind of like putting lipstick on a pig. If you don't act loving towards someone, but then you try to be romantic like the movies, it's like putting lipstick on a pig. There's still a pig underneath there, and it's not fun. So yes, return their own love language. That's a big thing. If you're dealing with women, because I don't really see a lot of men asking to be romanced, so that's probably going to be for a woman. But a woman typically wants to feel like she's adored. What do you say? Send them on a warmer, colder Easter egg hunt. Oh, that's cute. He said, and each thing has a romantic or a naughty thing to do. So a grown-up Easter egg hunt, put something inside. That can be fun. I think here are the elements of romance. And ladies, let me know if you disagree, okay? There tend to be multiple elements. Very first one is lighting. Lighting is everything. Think about every single bachelor scene you've seen or whatever. There's always element of lighting. So, and typically romance happens a lot during the evening. So you can affect the lighting. Either have candles, whether they are real candles or electronic candles, battery operated with the fake little wick, or tea lights, little tea lights, or those little hanging Christmas lights. Not all of them are Christmas lights. They actually have little, like, it looks like little icicles coming down, or a fire. You could be at a fire pit, or you could be at a fireplace. Having controlled lighting is everything, even if it's the sun and you're having a sunset. So it's really important to have the lighting. The second one would be, somebody said smell. Yes, smell is important because a woman is very big on her senses. She's sensual. So if you can add the element of smell, so whether it's flowers, it's just a subtle smell of the flowers. It could be your cologne, something to add an element with a smell. And then you have visuals. So you want to make it pleasing to the eye. That's why when women do picnics and stuff like that, they have beautiful pillows and blankets and, maybe some candles and things like that. You want to make it visually pleasing to the eye. So let's just say you're inviting her over. At the very least, have it clean and clutter-free. Have a space that's clean and clutter-free. But if you could just do a couple little things, a little flower here, or I'm trying to think of other things that people decorate with that aren't flowers. But it's usually pretty much just flowers. And then comfort. You want to be comfortable. So you don't want to take her out, let's say, to go watch the sunset and it's freezing. Think ahead and have a blanket, an extra coat, something like that, if it's a surprise and she doesn't know where she's going. But you always want to be comfortable. So if you're going to be sitting somewhere, make sure you have pillows, a cozy blanket, if you're going to be on a couch, but always be comfortable. What else? And food. Food is important. So let's say it's going to be a while. Don't forget the food. So whether it's a little charcuterie tray, whether it's a full-on dinner, whether it's just dessert, food is a great element to add in. Ooh, nice job, Coach Justin. You can tell he's an expert in this field. He said, or reduce the senses to strengthen others. So reduce one sense to strengthen another. He said, for example, blindfolding or noise-canceling headphones. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Even with blindfolding, right? It doesn't have to be super, super kinky, but it could just be you're getting a massage, and you don't know which body part's being massaged next, or it could be tickled with a feather, or it could be feeding each other with blindfold, right? You have things that they're not allergic to, that's important, and they really like, you can feed them. I think for women and ladies, let me know if you agree with this. I think the part that is so powerful about romance is it says this: I care about you enough to take the time to plan. That's really it. And if you do something that is indicative of her, so let's say, for example, she has mentioned that she rode horses in her childhood, but she hasn't had a chance to do it in the next 20 years, in the last 20 years, you having a picnic at a horse ranch means the world to her, because you're like, whoa, she'll say, wow, you remembered. So it's the taking the time to plan. Women are so good at this stuff. You can either Google it, you could watch The Bachelor, just look to see what made it, what scenes they had. But essentially, romance is setting a scene. You are setting a scene where you yourself are the activity. It's the quality time. That's the other thing. So you love me enough to plan this out. You did not last minute throw some crap together and be like, we're going to go eat. We eat all the time. That's not creative. But you took the time to be creative. And two, you are giving us one-on-one attention. It's quality time. We're not watching TV. We're not watching a movie. We are looking at one another and we are pouring into each other. When you first fall in love, you can't wait to like learn everything about the other person and get to know them. And so when you get a chance to get together, it's a chance to bond. He said, interesting, don't forget the word spoken. Yes. So part of quality time is being able to connect. She said, Dorsey, Genesis says it's an awesome experience of vulnerability. Yes. So, and when you think through these things, that's the part that's so amazing. Like, wow, you know, it could be something like, I did this before and it was like blew the guy away, but we did a movie in the back of my truck. I had an SUV. And so I converted it and made it like this real cushy place. I had the twinkle lights and, you know, the movie, but I thought of everything. I thought of the snacks. I thought of the speaker to play the music. When you think of those little details, it just makes her feel special. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It's pretty much just like making sure you've covered all the bases. In that moment, she doesn't have to think about anything. She doesn't have to plan anything herself. It's just like, it's taking a moment where it's saying, this time is all about you. I'm focusing all of my energy on you. So even if it's, you know, the classic rose petals leading to the bedroom, giving her a massage. Oh, I cannot believe I forgot this huge one and none of you guys said anything. I don't think. Sound. Sound is huge. So the crackle of a fireplace, that's sound, right? Playlist with a speaker, that's sound. You could even have a water feature, that's sound. If you're by the ocean, that's naturally the sounds of the waves, that's sound. So she's getting hit with all this. So she has the beautiful lights, she has the smell, she has the touch, a really soft blanket, pillows, whatever. Or if it's hot, you're making sure she's cool enough because she has a canopy to protect her from the sun, whatever, and you bring her sunscreen. She has taste, and what is it? What am I doing? Taste, touch, sound, hearing, seeing. Yeah. So if you try to appeal to all 5 of her senses, you're going to be really, really good. And this one is so simple. It is so simple. You could do this all the time. Leave her a note. When you literally express, because that's feminine, right? And women want, it's ironic. Women want men to be masculine, but they want them to express, which is feminine, which is outside of the man's wheelhouse normally. So when you express, oh, that's what you meant by spoken words. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Women want you to express. So if you think she's doing a great job as a mom, say a little note. She said, I will cry over 3 sentences. For real. I kept stuff from like 8th grade in a little box. If you say, you're such a good mom, or man, I picked a great wife, anything. Or let's say she's going on a trip, right? She's going on a business trip or whatever. You could, within her suitcase, you know, she says, oh, babe, can you zip up my suitcase? Tuck something in. Maybe she's going on a girl's trip. Tuck something into her shoe or a pair of socks or something that just says, you know, call me when you get this. I'm missing you. Or maybe you buy her a brand new pair of panties and, well, no, maybe you shouldn't sit on her trip with panties. That could go left. But maybe you buy her a little trinket and you put it there, a little bear that says, hug me. You know, this will be me thinking of you. But these little notes, you can even put a Post-it on her mirror. Just maybe you got in late at night and she's always sleeping and say, hey, I hope you have a great day. Little tiny things. But women love when men express. Express that you are glad she's yours. Express that you see a future with her. Express how happy she makes you. Express gratitude for the things she did last. So I know this was geared towards women, but this is romantic. And for men, we'll just do a couple to close this out. Feed him. Men are so simple. Feed him. Say thank you a ton. Pick like 10 things you're thankful for and pepper them throughout the day. Compliment him. As much as women like compliments on their physical, men like it too. So if you notice his arms are, you know, looking nice or his legs are getting real meaty, he's been working on his legs, find something to compliment him. Ooh, that haircut, you know, when he gets a fresh haircut, let him know. You could playfully act jealous, playfully, unless this is a real thing within your relationship. But be protective, like, oh, you're not going to wear that to the gym, are you? Only if you don't actually have a jealousy issue in your relationship, okay? But yes, that's what I said. you go off of her love language. So whatever she naturally does to you, that's what you can reciprocate. But it never hurts to do all 5 love languages. So with men, take care of him. Just make a man feel like he's taken care of. Notice what he likes. Most men feel like women don't even notice what they like. Notice what he likes. Allow him time to just have his own way. Like, have a day where he gets to do whatever he wants to do. You're not dragging him around to anything, asking him to do anything outside of what he's asked for. But if you guys don't have a ton of sex, give him sex. I don't want to be cliche, but give him a lot of sex and be passionate. Act like you are going to lose your doggone mind if you can't just have a little taste. Okay? Talk dirty to him. Leave him little notes. Give him massages. Give him massages. Essentially do an activity he would like to do. A lot of guys, she said your body. A lot of guys want to do fun activities with the person they love. So plan a fun day. Just remember, men are the opposite of women who are typically very, very masculine. Very, very masculine men tend to enjoy expression less. So women love expression and receiving expression. Men, less expression. So less talking, more activities. So go out and do a fun activity and spend the day with him. That's the best I could think of, you guys. I am going to wrap up here. I've had an awesome time with you. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Please let me know if you would like me to do another Q&A, because this was fun. It's also cool getting to see what kind of questions you have in your mind. Thank you for all the likes. Remember, go get my book. If you want one-on-one coaching, all the links are in my description right here. But if you want one-on-one coaching, go ahead and mark yourself on the calendar. You can automatically put yourself on the calendar, and I will give you all the best help I can. I will see you guys in Atlanta at the end of June, so make sure you're on my list, my email list, so you guys can get the information. Until next time, tell someone that you love them, and good night.